All right, family. Thank you for your patience. We are now live. My brother Blue say we are now. Y'all are now rocking with the best.
You are now rocking with the best. Yes.
I'm about to introduce my guest. Y'all know who the brother is. He needs no introduction. But before I do, get comfortable. Real good show tonight. There's some things going on that you're not going to hear on the Shade Room or CNN or wherever you get your news from. You're not going to hear it on these channels. Not trying to insult the Shade Room or CNN or anybody. But this is
Yeah.
some stuff reserved for those who are really tapped in. So consider yourself a lucky individual, if you want to use that word, to be here tonight and to hear this presentation from my brother Blue Pill. We're gonna get to it in a second. Be right back, family. Yo, Blue. When the solar flares is coming to Earth, they make the music of that beat that you just heard. That's how they sound coming to Earth. They sound like that. That's how they sound coming to
All
Earth,
like
bro.
that. And the planet is they're about to be impacted with something that is categorically celestial. You know what I mean? Like I think that you might even be getting the backdrop of the universe setting up for this release date. You feel me? This might be part of the rollout
Shit.
because what the planet is about to be bombarded with in terms of sound, because remember, sound translates to light.
Right.
So what we are bearing witness to, even what we'll be speaking about on this particular evening, we have to still retain the ability to see this within ourselves, is always seeing that there's a connection with all things. So
What's wrong? Hold on. What's wrong with you? Okay, it's okay. I don't know if it's fireworks outside or gunshots,
right,
but he getting a little scared. All
yeah,
right, never
yeah.
mind, man. I'm right here. I'm right here. Yeah.
And,
But real quick,
and
I want to give you some context, Blue. I want to give you some
let me,
context.
let me give you,
You, all right, good, Blue, good.
like I said, the universe would always provide, because the next sentence next word that I was gonna say was sun. This light coming from the sun, and then Sirius.
Woo!
You feel me? And I was explaining it. All things are connected. Nothing, is separate. And these are the things that happen in real time to confirm these narratives. So please continue.
Yo, ain't it amazing? Like we don't really know how this shit go, Blue, and we get confirmations all day through little signs like that, and we
Yeah.
just let it go right by us, bro. Like we'll be talking about the sun, then a nigga named Sirius will walk by, then this will walk by, then you'll see a girl that named Celestial or some shit like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we just think it's coincidence, but yo, the universe is ill, Blue. We talked about that before.
The universe is ill, and I think that that's what brings people to this channel every single night. You've been doing phenomenal programming. Let's give you your salute and salutations for having the best run this year, bar none. And I
Thank you,
think
my brother.
I think that every platform can agree on that. I think that this is a unilateral, acknowledgement of a good job done, and one hell of a run.
So
So
I truly appreciate it. Oh, real quick, are you gonna because real quick announcement, I'm gonna be Melanin Mondays this Monday. I'm gonna show the flyer before the end of the show. But
yes,
Red Pill, tell the people where it's at, because I don't know where it's at.
yes, it's on Forsyth Street, which is directly across the street from Magic City. On one side, and the other side, the Greyhound. So this is a very centralized location in the city of Atlantis. The family knows. I'll get the specific number of the building, but it's right there on Foresight. And shout out to 3 Millie Productions. It's in their venue, and we have a dope Melanin Mondays in real life event every Monday at this location, and it's free 99 to the people that are able to come in there. We have, I'm rolling out Mama's Cosmic Kitchen, so I got the food on. Shout out
Man.
to Blue Dream holding it down, but we got the cuisine. We putting that magic. I could do magic in the kitchen, and we bring that out.
That's facts.
And I did it out of necessity. There's not a lot of people. People are over promising and under delivering in a lot of different categories, specifically in terms of food. This year I've noticed a lack of quality, and
Oh yeah.
that speaks to the sun. Like I could tell that the vibration of the sun is different because the food is different. And people can agree across the board everywhere that I go. No one is having a pleasant experience with food. For the first time ever, a lot of people can agree that across the board, whether you are vegan or whether still eat flesh or whatever you into, there has been a lowering of the quality of that experience across the board unilaterally. So shout out and salute to those who have still been able to hold on to the vibration of good food, the
Indeed.
good everything. Yes,
Yeah.
good music.
All of that. Yeah. No facts. Yes. So, Blue must have got disconnected. Oh, there you go. He's back. Blue. Blue, you hear me? Blue, can you hear me? While Blue gets that together, let me show you what's going on. Something like I gotta talk to Blue about this. We hear so much about solar flares, so much. We hear Dr. Valentine, we hear everybody talking about solar flares and solar this and solar that, and it's gonna hit the earth and downloads. Rod Hayes was just talking about solar flares the other day. I was telling Rod Hayes I wasn't feeling like myself for a whole week. And I just felt out of it. And Rod was like, yo, something hit the earth. Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, word? I was like, okay. But let me show y'all what's going on. Blue talks about the earth, about the sun a lot, extensively. And he breaks down a lot of science to the sun. Damn, I want to see if Blue's coming back. Where's Blue at? Somebody said that's Brother Panic. Shout out to the spirit of Brother Panic that lives eternal, that's immortal. Shout out to that brother right there. Did a magnificent job while he was here on Mother Earth, or as Sister Myra says, Daughter Earth. Blue, can you hear me, my brother?
Yes, indeed.
All right. So yeah, I want to let the people know. I was telling the people, Blue been talking about this sun since before Corona. I remember Blue, and I remember KT. I remember those two brothers specifically, constantly talking about the sun around 2019. Me and KT did several fasts, specifically entailing the sun. Blue's always dealing with the signs of the sun. So he's the perfect man to have this conversation with right now, so we can see exactly what's going on in the cosmos. That's how we know what's going on in us. Let me read this article real quick. It's all over. It's on several sites, but I'm going to go to space.com right now. Gigantic hole in the sun, wider than 60 Earths, is spewing super fast solar wind right at us. So let's read this now. A monstrous dark patch known as a coronal hole recently appeared near the sun's equator. The temporary gap enables unusually fast solar wind to race toward Earth. An enormous black dark hole has opened up in the sun's surface and is spewing powerful streams of unusually fast radiation known as solar wind right at Earth. The size and orientation of the temporary gap, which is wider than 60 Earths, is unprecedented at this stage of the solar cycle, scientists say. I'm going to just read this and then I'm going to pass it to Blue. The giant dark patch on the sun, known as a coronal hole, took shape near the sun's equator on December 2nd and reached its maximum width of around 497,000 miles within 24 hours. Since December 4th, the solar void has been pointing directly at Earth. What a coincidence. It's pointing the size of 60 Earths and it's pointing directly at Earth. Blue, you've been talking about this for a while. I'm trying to figure out, like, how important is this? Is this just, oh, okay, another solar storm? What, like, I really need you to break this down for the family who may not understand the importance of solar flares, solar wind, the sun, information, light, sound, all that stuff, my brother. I'm gonna pass it to you, brother, and let you do your thing.
Right. I would want to take note first that a lot of last week, they were bombarding us with articles about the impending crashing of the internet based on solar winds.
Right.
I've seen those articles before, but for some reason I kept seeing them last week in the news cycle, and I was like, there hasn't been anything, aggressively that has changed in the solar cycle that would necessitate them to make this particular warning. But they've been getting on their high horse, or they've been getting on their platforms program as of lately and telling people, look, the grid can go down, you can lose communications, you know what I'm saying? You might want to have a backup plan, and you might want to be aware of the dangers that entail solar storms. We just passed the anniversary on November 13th of a solar storm. This solar storm took place in the 1800s, and it said it looked like the stars were raining to the planet. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, and there was that was the second most serious one, next to something called a carriage effect, I believe it's called. And this was a solar storm in the early 1900s that knocked out telecommunications and things of that nature. So they were warning that something that happens like that nowadays, because so many things are dependent on telecom, it would be catastrophic in regards to logistics and in people's safety, right? And then the planet is in a state of peril in terms of the warfare. So they're like, what would a collapse of the grid look like, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of a war? When things are on edge so much, the borders are being pretty much exploited and everything else is going on. So, you know, not to beat the drums of doom and gloom, we're going to take a very scientific look and observation as to what information is available about what's going on. So I want to go into the slideshow I prepared real quick.
Okay.
Let me see how I can do that with this StreamYard thing. Can you do that with StreamYard?
Do what?
Does StreamYard have screen share?
Yeah. You did it before. It's something on your end you gotta do, and then I'll see it on my end. I thought you did it. You did it before. You did this discovery the discovery presentation that time.
Uh-huh. All right, let me figure this thing out.
Yeah, Earth is still on its way through a photon belt. Yeah, Dr. B is actually going to be on next week talking and dealing with that. So yeah, definitely. A lot going on. A lot is going on. A lot of good stuff. All right. Blue's not here no more. Don't know what happened. He'll be right back. But yeah, a lot is going on. Let's let me see this another article. 60. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is very interesting what's going on. Yo, so anybody that wasn't here, so last week, right? I was with Rod Hayes on the live, and I was telling Rod Hayes, y'all, I did a show with Cam Bada like last week. Yo, I felt like I wasn't even here. Like I was hoping I didn't like just like nod off or something. Like I was like completely disoriented during the show, and pretty much last week I just felt like it felt like an out of body experience, and I just wasn't myself, and it lasted for about a week. So there's things going. I never felt like that before. How I felt last week. It was right after Thanksgiving, right after so-called Thanksgiving. So I know something is in alignment with this solar. Yo, let me ask y'all: do y'all know are people coming down with like a cough or like because there's something going around, what they call it, RSV or something like that? Do y'all know people who's having like lung issues or issues coughing or something like that? Let me know in the chat while we wait for Blue. Yes? Yeah. Oh, Kick some here. Yeah, listen, y'all, this shit is real. This shit is real. I would definitely say, yo, King Simon said I came down with a cough. Yeah. I would definitely say I just got over it. Also, a lot of y'all. So this ain't just me. You lost your voice, yeah. So yeah, why y'all ain't say nothing, man? Y'all hear me coughing and shit the last week. Why y'all ain't say nothing? Why y'all ain't say nothing, man? Y'all heard me coughing last week and everything. I'm not a smoker. I'm not even a smoker. I smoke once in a blue. Y'all know if I do anything, I'll drink, but I'm not a smoker like that. So it ain't even like the smoke, the weed. I don't, that weed. I don't trust that weed. My kids had a cough. Yeah, my son had a cough. I had a cough. My son had a cough. Yeah, so yeah, something going on, y'all. This is bigger than just us not being healthy. I don't know. Maybe it might be something in the air, but I'm gonna give credit to something a little more positive. I'm not gonna say it's chemtrails and nothing like that. I'm gonna say it's something that's transforming us. What Aaron Lines be saying? She be saying I'm a not narrative that damn, I forgot the word. The quantum. It's a quantum word. But yeah, I'm going that route. I'm assuming it's something positive, and especially with this news of a black hole in the sun opening up the size of 60 Earths and pointing directly at Earth. Like, what's the odds of that happening? It opens up that big and it points directly. It could point anywhere. But it's directly at Earth at this time, and everybody's going through that. Yeah, I'm an optimist. Yeah. Definitely be an optimist. So a lot of y'all, this is interesting. I didn't know. I did not know all of y'all was okay. So this is where this is a lot of y'all is with it. This is quite interesting. So what did y'all take for it? Did it just go away naturally? It go blue right now. What about lack of energy? Yeah, I did have that. I'm back. I got my energy back now. But yeah, this is wild. Yo, Blue, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Now, me and the family just talking about a lot of people had symptoms around the same time I had symptoms. I had no idea it was that many people with symptoms.
I'm
That's
gonna
why.
tell you, a lot of people reported that they had symptoms, and they were calling me, to get some insight. So when the request came, and I just started doing research, I'm like, okay, these are some of the things that are indicating, because people said they didn't just have symptoms; they felt like they were like how they felt when they came into consciousness, and you get that upsurge. So it's not just the symptoms, and then it's the things that people are feeling in their heads in terms of, I'm hearing the ringing or my brain. Because when people say that they are having headaches, sometimes that's that. Remember sitting in them lectures, your whole
Yeah.
paradigm starting to get
Yeah.
reorganized and
Uh-huh.
restructured and what have you. Yeah, they're saying it's on par with that. Um, Again, I'm looking to execute this on my iPad, and I don't know if the StreamYard has the same features on iPad as it does on the laptop. I don't know if that's the difference that I'm seeing in StreamYard right now. Um, which means I just have to jump on my laptop real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could give me a second, I'm gonna transfer this.
Okay.
All right, I'll do it in a minute.
All right. Yeah, so let Blue do that. Blue will be I'm hearing an echo. Yeah, Blue will be right back. But listen, this is some important stuff going on with the sun, with the cosmos. Let me see what this is. Let's see what this website says. And it's important. Yo, you know what? The download I got after all of this went down was me really tapping into the universal mind through the power of the subconscious. So I think what I want all y'all to do, a show that I think is of utmost importance right now, out of all the shows I did recently, all of them have been great. In particular, the show I do with Minister Jew, we have to tap into that science Minister Jew is talking about. I did this show. It was called something about dreams. But we have to tap into that science Minister Jew is talking about. So I definitely want y'all to go see that show that I did with Minister Jew. And I think that's going to be real important in terms of ascension. Us tapping into that science. And I'm not going to even get into it deep. I know some of y'all seen it, but I would just advise everybody. The brother's name is Minister Jew. It was a real important show we did, and it was about 2 weeks ago. It was probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. But yeah, like I'm still getting over this cough thing, and I've been taking different things, but yeah, it's just, you know, we gonna see we gonna see what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's important that we don't get caught up in the distractions, you know what I'm saying? I think it's important that we be a little selfish at this time. I think it's real important that when I say be selfish, I just mean really be into yourself to the extent that you got tunnel vision. Be selfish for tapping into your purpose down here, and tapping into your higher self. And another thing, King Karu was talking about the candle gazing. I think that's something else that's real important right now that we could tap into. So yeah, I think the candle gazing, I think the dream thing Minister Jew was talking about. I would advise all y'all to listen to Neville Goddard, to really tap into some shit. Neville Goddard got some real good material. You know what I'm saying? Peace to Karain. Karain said go to a sauna. Yeah, I do need to go to a sauna, Karain. I was just oh, here go Blue right here. Blue.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Echo.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta cut this device off.
Yeah, but yo, I am amazed at y'all, man. I had no idea that it was like this with all of y'all, man. Y'all gotta tell me shit like this, man. Being be like, yo, Rich, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? Tell me something, man. I'm thinking I'm going through this alone and shit. I'm thinking it's just me out here and shit. Then Rod Hayes says something. Then y'all, you're like, let me know, man. Yeah, sign of the times, man. 2024 gonna be an amazing year, y'all. It's gonna be an amazing year. Don't get caught up in the distractions, y'all. It's cool to be entertained once in a while. I was just watching a few basketball clips, seeing what's going on in the basketball world. But let's be spiritually selfish in terms of really discovering ourselves in 2024. Like really discovering ourselves. I was watching this YouTube, this white dude named Jim Hoffman. He was calling reality a space-time headset. And we talked about that before, but he was just calling reality a space-time headset, you know what I'm saying? And it's really like, if you look into the headsets like Facebook and got, like, our brain is that headset, and the eyes is attached to the brain. Everybody, KT and all them talk to you, but we got our headset, man, and our headset is getting an upgrade. Shit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Blue, what's good?
With no further ado, let's get into it. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Let's get to it. Share screen.
Yeah, stay away from mass media, y'all. Yeah, stay away from mass media.
That's some wonderful advice that you gave. It's not about being selfish. It's really about appreciating, and honoring this whole gift of time, and realizing that we really don't have time to waste right now. So it's not so much about being selfish. It's about, understanding that it's really time to execute. So it's no time to waste. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Let's get to it. All right. Black Hole Sun, featuring your brother Blue Pill. Okay. So let's give you some visuals and some images about what has just taken place, so that people can get a mental visual about the energy and the powers that are emitting from our central sun, our central star, right? This responsible. We acknowledge it as a life giver because these particular rays are responsible for the electromagnetism on the planet that make everything happen. All right. So let's give it just due. right? Shout out to brother Lord Strahan. Shout out to King Simon, who, you know, had to point out and remind me that us moving into this year of 2024, we're moving into this 44 year. There's this 8, this infinity. Shout out to all of the 8s in the building. Y'all really feeling yourself right now, but yeah, we all need we all need that energy of 8 in our lives. So salute to the 8s, and yes, 2024 is going to be amazing. All right, as you will notice, the image that we see in terms of what's taking place on the sun, it vividly reminds us of the image that came out of the Lord of Rings, right? The Eye of Sauron. Okay, that particular tear in the sun looks almost identical to the eye that we've seen in the Lord of the Rings, ironically. Okay, and what was he hitting on with the Eye of Sauron, right? What was this particular symbolism about? J.R. Tolkien was utilizing the Eye of Sauron in a metaphorical sense. Okay, it was not an actual eye, but a symbol of Sauron's influence over Middle Earth, as we see what's taking place in the Middle East, and we understand who the people of the Golem are, right? Not just the Golem, but the Golan Heights as well. We understand the connection between what they consider to be Middle Earth and the Middle East. Sauron was hunting for the ring so that he can be again take physical form. So we know who the people are also that are connected to the ring, or the Saturn rings, or the rings of Saturn, right? The people who dress in black and consider Saturday a Sabbath. And the great eye was a way to show his relentless search for the ring. Peter Jackson chose to show Sauron as a fiery, lidless eye so that Sauron would feel more like the present and growing threat that he was. When the ring was destroyed in the return of the king, Sauron's power was diminished. The foundation of Barad-dûr crumbled away because the Dark Tower was made with the power of the ring. When the ring was destroyed, the foundation of the Dark Tower was destroyed too. So when they're speaking about the return of the king, again, these are motifs that speak specifically to astrological alignments or astrological bodies. So the king in this case would be Leo. Leo is the sun. You feel me? So the Eye of Sauron is doubling as a visual to always see what's going on in terms of implying a threat that Big Brother or that overarching eye is always looking at you, just like the eye on the back of the dollar. But it also represents the energy of a sun motif. Okay. Let's look at the prominence and the filaments. These are all the languages used to explain what takes place on the sun that we're looking at right now. Right. Prominence and filaments are some of the type. They're really firm filaments, ropes of solar stuff, and magnetic fields. This is all about the magnetic fields. Okay. And when there's space behind them on the edge of the limb, we call them prominences. Right. These are the arms of which the solar winds emit on. These are all of the flares that are coming off of the sun, right? Creating solar wind, which creates magnetic storms or solar magnetic storms, which impact us, and our subtle energy bodies come into contact first with this energy. That's how we get what's called downloads. Okay. So that's what just took place on the 7th of December, right? Let's look at it again, because this is the stuff that is on its way to impact the planet within the next 2 or 3 days. Right? It's erupting all over the place. Okay, let's move to the next one. They ask, is the sun waking up? Right? And evidence of it, they're showing that there's action on all edges of the sun that denotes that here we are in December, and this is what the sun is doing in terms of its activity. Oh.
Blue.
Yeah.
Press mute on that. I don't want to get a that copyright flag shit with the music. Yeah, just press mute on it when you play it.
Hold hold on.
I think at the bottom there on the right, at the bottom on the right side, you could turn down the volume. Okay. And what's going on right here, Blue?
So again, in real time, family, you see that's the activity that's taking place on the sun. What does that energy look like when it impacts the planet? When it hits this particular realm, how does it translate into spectrums of frequency? Because we've been here talking about sound and frequency for quite some time. Shout out to you for even, stepping out early and putting a documentary. Here we are in 2023. I've heard the most conversations about frequency than I've ever heard thus far. Shout out to Dr. Be Serious for making it plain as well. So we see the emanations, right, of light spectrums in the way that it's hitting the planet coming in through the north. This is Norway, Sweden, right? These are places in Europe where the Ouroboros take place, where they hit the when the solar winds that are coming from the sun are hitting what's considered to be, I guess some people say it's the firmament. Other people say, it is the ionosphere that separates us in space. And then these are the emissions or the colors that are being made. So think about it as a frequency, because this is light, which means it's information. And I also had a video that I can't find right now, but it shows you all of the sounds that they make. It makes the illest noise. It sounds like an Andre 3000 flute album.
Wait, it makes sound?
Yes.
Word?
Rashida, tell him.
Yes, it makes a noise. It sings.
It sings.
It literally
Oh,
It sounds like a sound bowl.
Don't tell me that. Yo, I gotta go to Iceland, man.
Bro, we gotta go to Iceland.
I gotta go to Iceland or Norway or
I need to see this. You feel me? I need
Damn.
to physically witness this beauty.
Yeah, it sounds like
It sounds like a sound bowl.
Whoa.
Right? And it's swirling, and it's just a beautiful emanation of what I consider to be the highest spectrum of light.
Yeah. So that's a time lapse right there, right, Blue? Right there. Yeah, that's a time lapse. That's beauty right there, y'all. That's some beautiful shit right there, y'all. I don't know what I would do if I see that in person.
So it's a light show in so many words. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's definitely a light show. Okay, so here we go. Massive solar storms will wreak havoc on the internet one day, and we're woefully unprepared. So these articles have been popping up real heavy in the past few weeks, right? They're informing and telling people things that I have seen been spoken about for a minute, but it wasn't really mainstream news. Major solar storms will one day interfere with our internet infrastructure, according to research paper. Okay, so the research paper came out as of recently, and that's why it really has been part of the news cycle, because now they have actual research where they're sounding the alarm. You may be obsessed with checking your local weather radar, but when is the last time you thought about space weather? Turns out there's a good reason to tune in. Our sun can cause solar storms that lead to long-term massive internet outages. Can you imagine? In 2013, insurance companies Lloyd's of London predicted that the most extreme space weather storm could affect 20 to 40 million people in the United States and cause up to $2.6 trillion in damages, with recovery taking up to 2 years. Right? So imagine that. And they restructure it after 2 years, and now it's the Web3. It's a credit system. X is set up where they got the whole banking situation in one app. They like, yeah, son, so we doing this different this time around. Line up. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what it's hitting for. You said your handle was what again? Okay. So this is a shout out to my brother Dre 3000. Let's take a look at the blue sun because it's officially here. right? So this is on the 6th,
This was on what?
December 6th. This was
And what,
yesterday.
what is this we're looking at?
We're looking at the sun. It's just in a blue light. This is the
Okay.
emanation. These are coronal mass ejections coming from the sun. Feel me? These are the coronal mass ejections coming from our blue sun.
Mm.
Now, why they have it in the blue spectral light, I really can't tell you. But this is it being observed by satellite. So you see all of these, different shooting stars and everything else that's up in there.
Mm-hmm.
This is them having a camera on it and picking it up. You know what I mean? But this is the emanations. These are the eruptions and the emanations that have been occurring in the last 24 to 48 hours. And I just showed you what it did yesterday or today on the 7th.
Right.
Right. So shout out to Dre 3000. Shout out to KT for doing an amazing presentation over here, laying it, out and making it plain. But the brother did so the question would be to ask, did he not inaugurate the new blue sun if he broke records and he defied all of the odds against him and he kind of like culturally shifted a paradigm? And I'm speaking about internally in people's consciousness, because the ones that were able to enjoy this album spoke about it having a transcendental effect on their consciousness. I felt it in my medulla oblongata.
Mm.
I felt it in certain parts of my brain that I know dealt with memory. It was stimulating it because these are the same parts of my brain that get stimulated when I have psychedelic experiences. And this album was produced with a group out of California that makes specific psychedelic music. Right? I got the article on them as well. So, this whole aspect of a new earth can only be brought about with a new sun, because the sun is what permeates life on earth. So in order
Right.
for you, everybody talking about a new earth, how you gonna have a new earth under the sun and there's nothing new under an old sun? But they never
Woo.
said that you can't make nothing new under a new sun. So here we go.
Mm.
Right? Look at that beauty. Woo.
Come on, man. Where's that at?
All of this stuff is over there, bro.
All in the
This is
same area. Same area.
Sweden, New Zealand, all of these places.
Family, we gonna head out there. I'm gonna make a trip out there, man.
Ironically enough, with this particular solar midriff taking place that we call the Milky Way, at this time of year, it's called the Golden Gate. And what makes that so interesting, we'll get into that. Let's get into this first real quick. So there are two gates or entryways into heaven, right? One being the intersection between Taurus and Gemini, and that's known as the Silver Gate of Heaven, where Orion and Osar is located. Okay, that's what we speak about. Around July the 4th and everything, when the souls come in, right? That's the rebirth period. The intersection between Scorpio and Sagittarius, where Ophiuchus is located, is known as the Golden Gate of Heaven. The galactic center lies visually from our solar system along a line that passes through the Golden Gate. The constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent holder, sits 108 degrees across Orion, which is a saw, right? Face one of your face the galactic center, face the other, you have your back to the galactic center. Ophiuchus sits in the direction towards the center of our galaxy. The ancients called it the gate of the gods. Osar sits in the opposite of this direction, which would be considered the anti-galactic center. And the ancients called this direction the gate of man, right? In the Greek tale, Ophiuchus tramples on Scorpio, and having received the elixir of life from the serpent, restores Osar to life. At the time, Osar sits at sunrise on the winter solstice, thereby symbolically entering the underworld to be reborn as he raises heliactically on the summer solstice. As Osar dies on the winter solstice, Scorpio does rise, but with Ophiuchus on the back, rising heliactically along with the sun. So the constellation actually looks like what? Ophiuchus fighting the serpent on the heel of Scorpio.
So she wanted to talk me to, and then I wanted to her because the cause of
Scorpio is attacking the heel of Sagittarius, which makes Sagittarius as the centaur heel back with the arrow pointed to the heart of Scorpio, or pointed to the galactic center for that matter. And this is the whole cosmic narrative. This is the whole cosmic narrative that replays itself. This is the mythos that's part of the cosmic canopy that replays itself every single year, right? And this is why Scorpio is such an activated energy during this specific period in time, because the symbolism is being played out by the stars on Earth. Talk about this as a distraction. Let's keep it moving. So
Okay.
Earth got hit by a gamma ray burst from the center of the Milky Way. Where's the center of the Milky Way? And the black hole, which is at the center of the Milky Way, called Sagittarius A, that I was just talking about, where the whole gate is at. This considered to be the Golden Gate, where the souls pass through, going back, not coming here. Pulse is a 2001 techno horror involving a mysterious electromagnetic force which unleashes a wave of spirits all over the world, right? Go watch the movie Pulse. Back in 2021, astronomers first detected a couple of unexplained pulses which appeared to be coming out of Sagittarius A, the black hole at the center of our galaxy. Astronomers knew that they couldn't actually be coming from Sagittarius A because black holes don't release stuff. That's kind of their whole deal, that they absorb stuff and don't release them. Instead, they suspected the pulses must be coming from gas, dust, or other matter rapidly orbiting around a black hole. Notice these people never tell you what they know. Everything is hypothetical, and they with nothing. They give you hypothesis after hypothesis after hypothesis. But when we come with a conclusion, people want to know, oh, well, where's your degrees at? I'm like, wait for these clowns to catch up for 6 or 7 or 8 years or 20 years from now. They're going to tell you the same thing. So you can ask them for their, right? Because we don't miss. Pluto retrograde is over and it's time to embrace your shadow self. Why is that a common theme going on right now? When Pluto turns direct in Capricorn on October 10th, we can understand ourselves more deeply and then take actions based on the lessons we gain from the retrograde. In the months ahead, we can expect to utilize the backwards motion of Pluto as a time to gain perspective on how we can grow and evolve on an individual level. Additionally, pay attention to the events that begin in the spring, summer, and early fall, as this period will give us another chance to deal and explore with the same sentiments. So this conversation has started in hip hop about accountability, right? It landed on the deaths of Sean Combs and other individuals as of lately, but it didn't start there. You feel me? It didn't even start with D1 calling out the rappers. It started a little while before that. But we can see, that the opportunity, the day of reckoning is upon, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, prominent people in the industry, and I'm sure that it trickles down to an individual level amongst people that are in the audience as well, right? And it's almost like you're getting called upon, you're getting heckled from the universe, matter of fact, to be accountable, you know what I'm saying? And to do the work that's needed and necessary. Okay, scientists can now predict when our sun will wake up and get angry. It's any time now. They say that once again, but they have yet to do it. We have, but they haven't. Feel me? So the sun is getting active. Sun solar maximum will arrive early, peak higher, and last longer, say scientists. Now, this is what we came. Shout out to my brother Alkebalon. This is what we came and told the world in 2020 when we put the book together, which we still haven't put out. But the premise of the book was based on observing the incoming solar maximum period. Could you put your phone on mute, brother? We should still hear the background. And we were speaking about the solar maximum coming early, right? Within the next 3 to 5 years, which is the period of time that we're in right now, because we signaled the alarm in 2020. So according to Space Weather Prediction Center, the sun is becoming more active more quickly than anticipated and will peak earlier than predicted. The peak will also last longer and even peak twice, but it likely won't break records. A service from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, a new test bed prediction for the SWPC is its first for the current solar cycle 25 since December 2019. When it predicted the solar maximum, the most active point in the sun's roughly 11-year cycle would occur during 2025. It also indicated the solar cycle 25 will be weak, which it has been anything but, right? This is what they were trying to say. Oh, they're coinciding a period in time when your solar energy is supposed to be rising inside of you, and they attack the world with the, with the situation. And they were counting on that particular program, that global program, to bring down the energy of the people on the planet that were going to be receiving this particular impulse called the corona rising. And they were wrong. Right? And now the sun is responding in a way in which they said that they never predicted. You feel me? Punks junk up to get beat down. Sunspots are dark areas on the sun's surface, typically on either side of its equator. They are caused by an indicator of changes in magnetic activity on the sun's surface. A spike in sunspots tend to correlate with the sun being more active and emitting more radiation. That and predictions of when it will occur is crucial, because a more active sun means more solar flares and coronal mass ejections, which affects Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field. That causes an uptick in aurora, but also increases danger to satellites, airline crews, astronauts, and potentially via an uptick in solar storms to electrical grids on Earth. Okay, so this is also preeminenting our coming, quote unquote, total solar eclipse. And why this particular solar eclipse is so important is because it crosses exactly opposite where the last solar eclipse crossed, right? Which would have been the solar eclipse of August 21st, 2017. Okay. So now they're crossing an X, and this particular eclipse crossed 7 states in a line, and each state that it hit cities in that state called Salem, which means peace. And this year or next year, when it crosses at the X point in the center where it meets at is going to be in a city called Salem, on a street called Salem. Okay. So I don't know how you plan for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what goes into that level of planning, but it's an extraordinary execution that we can't consider to be a coincidence. But nonetheless, this solar eclipse of 2024 is going to herald in what's considered to be a 7-year period since the last one. And this 7 years can be a 7 years of tribulation, or it could be a 7 years of promise, like how they say in the Bible. First, it was 7 years of famine, then it was 7 years of promise. You know what I'm saying? So we're coming up on the 7-year period where we can see at the beginning of this total eclipse in August 21st of 2017, this signaled the beginning of what we are dealing with leading up to this very day, which is the quote unquote, the ushering of this Me Too movement, right? And it all started with Hurricane Harvey. All right, let's take a look. 2017, the hurricanes. The hit on August 21st, the solar eclipse. By August 23rd, they had Hurricane Harvey hovering over Houston, dropping 1 trillion gallons of water over one city, right? And then it opened up the pocket for a plethora of hurricanes that started not only hitting, quote unquote, smaller islands and countries. All of these smaller islands and countries had biblical references. They were all highly Catholic. The residents of these particular countries were, for the most part, Catholics, but the names of these countries also gave it away, right? Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, right? Places in Mexico, you feel me? Getting hit by Maria, of all things, St. Croix, which means the cross, So we just saw this overlapping theme, this consistent one, right? Dealing with these bodies of water. Okay, then we got introduced immediately after that to the Harvey Weinstein charges, okay, which had people reeling back, because for some people it was, it was a eureka moment. It was too shocking. They had no idea, right? But this is the bag man for the political parties of the Democrats in particular. Anytime they would do fundraising in Hollywood, They have to do it at Weinstein's crib. So he was the go-to man. He was the, he was that guy. He was the Diddy of their circle, giving the white parties. It's levels and tiers to this. And then the tier above his party will be the parties that was given by the big homie of his, which would be Epstein, right? And it's levels and it's tiers to this. And we're seeing the house of cards come down as we move through this tribulation of 7 years. Okay? This is when the entire Me Too movement popped up. Person of the year, 2017. They inaugurated this year as the breakout year for Me Too. Okay? Russell Simmons, 2017. Why? How will he just pop up now, inaugurating this particular period in time and bringing the circle full circle, right? Because he has to be inclusive in the conversation in order for the demonstration to properly demonstrate itself. Okay, so he's back in the news now, attempting to clear his name up. Bad timing, buddy. Right? You don't got an astrologist or something? Who read your cards and told you this shit? We need to bring him up on charges.
Raped me right up against the wall. Excuse my language. But that's what he did. I have to keep this secret. He showed up naked, wearing a condom, and tackled me to his bed while I screamed and fought and said no and cried. That's rape.
Oh, yeah, my bad. My bad. Man. Whew. It's such a delicate space these days, man. So this is this particular configuration of eclipse that have occurred. These are the things that are compounding the energy that we're bearing witness to now, that is only going to amplify heading towards April 8th. So we just had an eclipse on October 15th, right? This was called the Ring of Fire eclipse. So it's no coincidence that we see a eye in the Ring of Fire was considered to be the sun, but the Ring of Fire eclipse hit on October 14th and it was war taking place. Do you guys remember? Okay. So there's even an X to the cross. There's even these particular eclipse also create an X in the sky in terms of their cross paths. So October 14th eclipse that just passed is also exasperating or compounding the upcoming one from April 8th, 2024. Okay. So we told you last year on this program, we told you last year that last year was about the brothers. Remember, with the Migos and everyone else, there was a lot of incidents dealing with brothers last year. And we told you the theme of last year was the brothers. And we said it's going to trickle over into this year as well. You feel me? I understand that our good quote unquote brother Rich is no longer going by brother Rich. He want to go by Father Rich now because taking a beating. So we're not going to do the long list. You know what I'm saying? I just want to point that out when we're making this observation, because it was this time last year that we did a program
right
in the weather patterns, and I made some bold claims. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, we know that this particular incident that we're looking at with Daystar is going to affect the weather, because he's Daystar's father sun star. He's a Leo. This is a narrative playing out between a Leo and an Aquarius. This is all dealing with the changing of the times. The opposite of Aquarius is Leo. So we're ushering in this age of Aquarius, and these stars, these motifs have to play these narratives out, so we know what we're looking at has precedence. So let's go to fam right here, right? Freaky Cuz, right? November 4th. Okay. He's a Scorpio. Let's go to Cassie, right? August 26th. She's a Virgo. So in the pantheon of mythos, especially when we're speaking about solar deities and entities, where have we seen this story before? I'll tell you, right? Oh, shout out to my guy. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Let's get it. We see this in the mythos of Persephone and Hades, right? Both of which happen to be Hades is Scorpio and Persephone happens to be Virgo. Okay.
Oh, you took it there, Blue?
I took it there.
Oh shit.
Right. Just so we make sure that what we're looking at is not a distraction and we're not wasting time, because everything is part and parcel. So as teachers, we can distract, we can, what's the word? Extract teaching moments from any and everything that comes across our table. So we're looking at a cosmic narrative playing out. What was the story of Persephone? She said Hades drug her down into the underworld and she was held hostage down there, right, for particular seasons. And then she freed herself up to come up, and she's the responsible for ushering in spring. Right? This is the narrative, and this is the story. This is the mythos, and this is how it plays out. I mean, I'm not making it up, am I? Right? So we're looking at them play out this particular story of Hades and Persephone, okay, between the Scorpio and the Virgo. All right. Again, like I said, we made our observation last year about Tory Lanez and Megan, how these particular stars that had the dominant society, or a good enough majority of our people, our melanated minds, would transfix into their narrative, into the outcome of their narrative. And they played it out, right? All the way up into the Lions Gate of August 8th and sentenced the brother to 10 years. As I continuously kept telling you, this is all about Leo energy. This is all about him being sacrificed as Daystar, the Leo. Okay. So when we look at what other implications this has on events that are taking place right now, right, we got to go to the Dead Sea Scrolls, what's called the War Scroll that was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947, okay, up in the area that you might consider to be, I think, Jordan, right? Up there in a cave, they found these particular scrolls, which were intact texts of the Essenes, right, which were in a religious sect that existed around the time of the Nazarenes, allegedly when quote unquote Christ existed. Okay, they have a different account of the narrative that is told in the Bible, but some things are consistent, such as the battle at the end between light and dark. So the War Scrolls is where they lay this out, the war on the sons of light against the sons of darkness. Okay. A strange juxtaposition with the rarefied speculation. So they was called the Brotherhood of Light, of course, right? The destruction will come by means of a 40 years war waged by the sons of light, aided by the celestial hosts against the sons of darkness. In 3 campaigns they will win, and in 3 they will lose. At last, at the 7th encounter, God will triumph over Belial, right? Which is not an entity or a being, but it's a situation, right? It's considered to be like conflict. This would be the day of vengeance. Therefore, all things will be renewed. The era of divine favor, in contrast to the era of wrath, will be ushered in. God's light will shine 7-fold strong. He would reaffirm the covenant with the faithful and engrave his law on their hearts. Right? So this is the war that they're speaking about. This war entails with the return of Michael. Right? This is the day which God appointed for abasing and humbling the prince of dominion of wickedness. He will send eternal salvation to those who have a share in his redemption through the power of Michael, the mighty ministering angel. And he will also send an eternal light to illume with joy the children of Israel. They that have cast their lot with God shall enjoy peace and blessings. As the rule of Michael would then be exalted amongst the angels, so shall the dominion of Israel be exalted over all flesh. Righteousness shall flourish in heaven and upon all earth. That espouse God's truth shall rejoice in the knowledge of eternal things. Wherefore, sons of the covenant, be of good courage in the trial which God visiteth upon you, until he giveth the sign that he hath completed his tests. Okay, so we're looking at a lot of things taking place right now that are part of biblical narratives, whether they're forced, right, whether they're figurative or literal. One of the things that are being evoked right now on an international stage is the right to defend, right? Israel is staking its claim Netanyahu reached a little further in his bag and said that they have a biblical right to defend, and he called their enemies the Amalekites. And what he did with that is he aligned them with a historical people out the Bible who were typecast for destruction, right? The Jews were commanded to destroy them and wipe them off the face of the earth because they sneak attacked them when they were traversing the hot desert sands, taking their 40-year sojourn out of Kemet back to the promised land, which was Palestine, by the way, right? So for hand is upon the banner of Yah, there will be war for the Lord against Amalek for all generations. So this is that they're utilizing and they're invoking to, justify their campaign. I don't want to say the wrong word. Ironically enough, they're getting a lot of pushback even from the Pope. The Vatican ain't with it. They said that they were committing terrorists. So in essence, they're calling them terrorists as well. Okay. We just found out the other day that ironically, the people who ascribe to the Torah said that they don't deal with the gospel or ascribe to Jesus are utilizing an AI program called the gospel, which is responsible for the uptick in carnage that we see, because it's not people killing people, it's algorithms selecting who dies, and then the people are carrying out the particular assignment. So they got an AI operating at, like as a general co-pilot over there, or like the Age of Ultron, and is spitting out ops. And then they're sending those ops to get done off. 444 targets a day, up from 10 targets in the previous campaigns that they have been responsible for, right? Israel assisted by gospel AI targeting and killing Palestinians.
Bro, you trying? Come on, man. Let's stick to the. Come on, bro. I'm not trying to get this video taken down, bro.
Okay.
Like the last strike I got was from Rod Hayes. They said Rod Hayes was saying hate language and shit like that, man.
My apologies. I can't mention the words.
Rod Hayes just said what he said. He was talking about Zionism or something like that, and they took the video down. They be wilding with this, man.
Yeah, so I ain't even gonna speak. I just put him in and we'll just move through it because yeah. All right. And this particular thing here is just to bring us back to some level of semblance. Even when we speak about these narratives, we always want to be mindful that a lot of this is trotting over history that has been here that will never be told. You know what I'm saying? This planet is millions of years old. There's a lot of evidence to suggesting that a lot of things have been suppressed, so even what we think we know, we're always operating off of limited knowledge, the things that we have access to. And if we give ourselves the ability to be intuits and pull some things out the cosmos from which we remember, but a lot of the things that we're drawing from are very selective, they're very limited, and they're very recent. You know what I'm saying? There's millions and millions and millions of years of history that's available and accessible on this planet, but it's buried, it's subterranean. And if we're not willing to even go inside ourselves and do the deep work that's needed, how are we going to become archaeologists of the past? Right? Some information that they're saying about crystals being at the center of Earth as well. And we can leave here. 2023 will end on 123, 123. And like I said, ironically, next year we'll be going into a 44. And with that, hey, I'm gonna leave them with this beautiful vision, you know what I'm saying, of these spectrums of light that are coming through and magnifying the planet. I think that bar none, regardless of what's going on, we should not lose sight that a bombardment of any light on this planet is going to be an upgrade for you. No one is ever going to tell you that you are in line to benefit from, an abundance of light that's coming through, especially if they're not participating, especially if it has nothing to do with their come up, right? So, and ironically, the most beautiful light is coming to parts of the planet that we can't see, that we don't exist in. You feel me? But you have the mechanism and the ability to not only observe this light, but also absorb this light. So please participate and, tap in.
Yo, it's funny. I was just talking to you how do I put this back on? Remove from stage. I was just talking to you a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, son, and I tell you that if I got if I died and I was cremated, I want my ashes spread in the aurora boreal. Remember the what's it called? The aurora, the northern lights. I said throw my ashes. Yeah, I said throw my ashes out there. So all this talk about this, I'm loving this. Yeah, I'm definitely loving it. I'm curious to know how many, if we made a trip out there to Norway or something like that, how many of y'all would travel with us to Europe if we made a trip out there for a weekend or something?
Yeah.
To experience
the auroras.
You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all are down for that? Don't be bullshit, just saying.
That would be a dope retreat. And I know they would. There's some troopers.
Yeah, yeah. How many hours is that? Do you don't know? You haven't been out there, right, Blue? Norway?
I ain't been to Norway.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I would say it's a day of travel, if not two.
Yeah.
But it's a journey. I would do it just for that.
I'm gonna Google that real quick. Like from NYC to, let me see. Shit. How long is the flight from NYC? I put from from NYC to Norway is 8 hours, Blue.
That's it.
That's what it say. A direct flight. It says a direct flight from JFK to Oslo Gardermoen, Norway is 8 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, that ain't crazy. We could do that.
Not crazy at all.
No,
I don't know. We might have to. I'm looking at that.
I looked into the Airbnbs. They got crazy Airbnbs with the moon roofs and all of that. So yeah, you can be in the Airbnb and it can be warmed, and then they got the moon roofs and you can watch it. You know what I'm saying, from the moon roof, or you can go out on the deck. You know, that's for people that don't want to necessarily deal with the elements if that's ain't what you into. But if you don't care. Yeah, they got whole tours set up where you can go out there and absorb all of that light.
Yeah, we might. My boy Billy got Egypt down. I might have to hold down Norway. I might have to hold down Norway and Iceland. I really want to do Iceland. That's what my spirit said about Iceland. I really want to do Iceland.
Iceland, huh?
Yeah, I really want to do Iceland. But yo, man, Blue, that presentation was off the hook, man. You really took it there. You went to so many different levels on that. That's why I don't want to mess up this presentation with that, the sensitive shit that, we got to remember who platform we on, but you did an absolutely magnificent job, brother. I appreciate you for putting that together. Even when you went into the mythology at the end with Puffy and Cassie, you always remind me about how the stars are playing the cosmos are putting on a movie through the stars or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, again, shout out to Rock, who he was just here and he laid out the astrotheology. You feel me? I think that exactly when you get expert demonstrations like that, bar none, there's really no denying it. You just can't deny it. It's evidence. It's right there.
Right.
And it's a narrative. It's a cosmic narrative. It's a mythos that continuously plays itself out. And if it wouldn't be a mythos, why are we naming the constellations after mythological creatures and things of that nature? So, there is a connection to what we consider to be the stars here on Earth and the way they play these narratives out. And again, it's always a clarion call to us as individuals to take personal stock and do self audits to say, damn, I see what this person is going through. What do I need to sit with myself in the shadows and personally address? Like, take that as a lesson. Take it as, something that you see on the screen, but you got to personalize it if it speaks to you. If not, you keep it moving.
No, definitely. Let me ask you about the solar flares, Blue. Now, is this something you see a lot of people are impacting with similar symptoms? And I'm sure all of us have completely different lifestyles. I want to ask you, when it comes to the solar flares, do you have to be of a particular diet or a particular lifestyle to receive these downloads, or these downloads coming to everybody because it's our birthright? These downloads, this our birthright.
I would totally say this your birthright. You know, we only know what we're exposed to for the most part. So for the longest, I thought that this was something that was only relegated to melanated people who had that cosmic antenna, if you will. But then I started traveling and moving around, and I have met other individuals, you know, our light-skinned cousins or what have you, who they're able to tap in and receive as well, you know, and transmute. I was told by Lester Lovin, you know, a while back when he was explaining the metaphysics of melanin, you know, he was like, when we absorb light as melanated beings, we have to use it, right? Because if we don't use it, then it's that's the thing that starts weighing us down. It would be more detriment to us because we absorb so much more of it that we are obligated to make a transference of that particular energy and that information into something, right? And if you don't, it just starts boggling you down or boggling you down. Whereas someone who might be recessive, they receive a little bit of light, but they're able to do things with that particular little bit that they receive, and they qualify themselves to receive more because, you know, they have their proof of use by saying, look at the things I created with the little bit that I've been given. You know, sometimes abundance can hamper you and put you at a detriment. As we can see, you know, again, as the universe is showing us these lessons by people, places, and things that are around us, we're seeing with overindulgence and overabundance has done. It has made people so gluttonous and so fat and so disconnected with, you know, reality that, you know what I'm saying? My stomach is out to here. I can't see my toes. I can't see the little people down there.
It's crazy, yeah. Nah, it's definitely crazy. Give me some questions, family, for the blue pillar. Give me some questions for the blue pillar. We dealing with the black hole sun. A lot going on right now in the cosmos. The cosmos is absolutely popping right now. Give me some questions from my brother before we get out of here. Blue, in terms of winter time in the sun, what do you do? Like, do you make it an effort to try to get more sun in the winter? What's your approach with the winter time, knowing that so many things is occurring, but at the same time it's cold outside? What is your approach to that?
Again, you know, coinciding with what we see with nature, I normally want to utilize months like this more so to hibernate. And when I mean hibernate, you know, that's the time that I might take to be more so in solitude. But I still understand that there's an importance, because shout out to KT, I had the app called D Miner, and I would go outside and I would track and trace, and there was no UV happening. So even though I'm getting sun, it's for vanity purposes because I'm not extracting any UV from it. So he explained to us that we need to eat mushrooms as a what's the word I'm looking for? A replaceable, if you will, for vitamin D. You can get vitamin D, you know what I'm saying, from certain mushrooms. So he said, oh, this is when you want to stock up on that in your diet, right? And I do that as well. And I look to get to some other regions of the planet, whether that's Puerto Rico, whether that's Mexico, whether that's the islands, or whether that's across seas. So I'm not against being a snowbird during these periods and times. We thought that moving from New York, we could get away from the chill. And somebody brought that shit with them in their back pocket because, it did not used to get cold out here. It would be chilly for 2 weeks in February, and that was it. Atlanta used to always be hot. It used to be the guaranteed go-to in wintertime because it would be like 85 degrees down here. That hasn't happened in a long time. I'm talking about 85 degrees all the way up in December. And anybody who knows that's what this place used to hit for. And it has not been it that way since like 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
So
man.
We gotta, you know, keep moving towards wherever we feel that we can get some sun. Miami is great during December and January. I normally go down there for my recharge.
Right.
You know?
Dope. Blue, they want to know, are you on Rumble, Blue? Are you on Rumble?
Nah. Not on Rumble yet. No. They're like, you gotta bring that conversation over there.
you heard of you know about Rumble, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm,
No,
I'm definitely hit the Rumble.
yeah, we definitely. I'm gonna look into that too. But yeah, family, we gotta be mindful and strategic. As y'all know, Blue and Red channel got taken, man. We gotta be mindful of the platforms that we are on and how to navigate on these. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like as per my last strike, you feel me? I went through the adjudication process of appealing and everything. You know, we haven't spoken to executives yet, but we have somebody in the mix that can just putting some things together. But they
Yeah.
kept coming back and telling me it was for spam, and
For
I'm like,
spam.
I'm like, tell me what it like. I wasn't selling nothing on no videos, so I'm like, what the hell? Like, explain that to me. And they wouldn't go further and explain it. They just because they'll give you like three or four different categories.
Yeah.
Like, so the reason, and they kept coming back talking about spam, and I'm like, I don't even understand what that means. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
That's
that's even a little bit more distressing. But long story short, family, yes, censorship is an industry.
yeah.
It's not something that we should take light. We have to really understand the implications that have gone into the development of this industry and how serious they are with keeping you from a narrative, right? The people will literally go to war to control a narrative. You know what I'm saying? And they have created an industry of censorship as a result. So you're not going to get around it. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to wave a magic wand and things are going to go back to how
Right.
it was.
Let me
It's
get
only more centralized. Yeah.
let me get to a question. Do you feel that people should start to prepare to practical type of work offline to prepare for being hit by solar flares that will knock us off the internet for a while?
Yes.
Work
Thank
offline.
you. Because I wanted to make that particular point again, not in the spirit of doom and gloom, but when we heed a message and we see certain things occurring, we say, all right, well, what's the pivot? You know what I mean? If this were particularly to happen, how would I pivot around it just in case? And when you make that observation, it says, well, you need a solar generator. It says, well, you need some supply of food. It says, well, you need, maybe you should acquire other means of communication, such as a shorthand radio or old cell phone or something like that. People are getting landlines installed inside of their house. So we might balk at preparation because that's not something typically that we do amongst our community. You feel me? We're not considered or known to be preppers. But I think that yes, if you are dependent and contingent on having a signal because you have medical needs, you have children that are going to school that you need to get in contact with, you feel me? Like anything that you feel is that important to you that you need to keep certain things moving in case the grid is shut down and it's not moving, then you need to make those necessary plans. I don't know. Everybody has the wherewithal to get a generator, a solar generator, and keep it on stash, but it's something that you should consider. Like that's the least that you can do at a particular, when you think this thing through, because it is plausible. You feel me? I remember in February and January, not only of last year, but the year before that too, there was an unprecedented amount of people leaning on the grid in Texas. And remember the grid went down? And then when
Right.
in the winter and people were super freezing,
Mm,
right? So
yeah.
the universe is showing you like it's not conspiracy. Like these things can definitely happen and they have happened. You know what I mean? And all of last year they were finding the transformers were being attacked and things of that nature. Like,
Mm,
you
mm,
know, again, it is no telling. And you feel me? We shouldn't be reactionary necessarily.
right.
But if it, you have to go further with the conversation and say, all right, I gave you all this information. Now, what does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
It means that there's a chance it should, if the sun is doing this in December and we ain't even get to the summer yet of next year, and this eclipse is going to hit. What do eclipse do? Eclipse exasperate. A total eclipse is going to give it, as you've seen it, damn near a 7-year window. So it's going to amplify the output of this sun. The last time the eclipse hit, the sun was at solar minimum. It wasn't doing a lot. The last time solar flare happened before May 23rd, 2020, it was in 2017. You know what I'm saying? That was the last time a serious solar flare happened. So the sun was relatively low energy leading up to when it woke up the day that they started protesting out here in the US for George Floyd, which was May 23rd, 2020. So I would say, yeah.
That's also around the time, Blue, when they was knocking down the Confederate statues and all that.
Absolutely, yeah.
All that shit was happening.
All of that stuff was popping during this particular Charlottesville, and all of that took place that year. That's when they started tearing the statues down. So I'm just saying, taking a look at what's going on in the world, taking a look at what's going on with the economy, taking a look at the fact that we're heading into an election year, and there are groups on both sides that are incentivized to create confusion.
Right.
In the middle of it, you just have us that want to live our lives, provide for our children, pursue some truths, you know what I'm saying, and eat some good food. You know what I mean? We got the simple life, and we in the middle of all of this BS. Like, yeah, I don't want to control $1 billion of oil off of somebody's shore, and I'm not looking to harness the cobalt out there. Like, we're not the ones doing this. I don't want to tear the rainforest down. You know what I'm saying? To put soil in the ground. Like, we're not the culprits.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Indeed. Yo, I definitely gotta just us talking about 2017. I just had a flashback in my mind real quick, Blue, and I said, yo, 2017 is about to be 2024, Blue. That's 7 years. Yo, Blue, I gotta say, I gotta give you a shout out for doing this for so long, brother. I remember when I first met you, I first seen you. I didn't introduce myself to you, but I seen you at the Chocolate Cafe when Shabazz was doing something in Brooklyn. Yes, and we in a community where people don't last long at all. Somebody may have a 3-year run, a 4-year run. If they lucky, they'll have a 6-7 year run. But for somebody to be here for a decade, over a decade, 15 years, that's very. You could count those people on your hand, on two hands. You could count them. So, and this is not an easy thing, family, especially when you're in the spiritual community. Conjure Queen was just talking about. There's so many energies that's directed at you. So you have to have a certain spirit to last long in this game. And we've seen so many people come and go, Blue. So
one of the things they don't think about is social media sorcery. And I saw somebody put a post up about that. When you expose your picture, when you expose videos, when you expose your face, your personage, your energy on a platform, nobody ever got the memo about how that's utilized in aspect of sorcery in terms of energetic attacks and things of that nature. No one understands, energetically, even what being canceled does to a person and things of that nature. These attacks, people physically feel these things in their body, and you can ask anybody who's been through it.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, and I've been on the internet since the internet. You know what I'm saying? So and social media since MySpace.
Somebody wants your email, Blue.
bluepillar44@gmail, the same way that my name is spelled on the on the caption. That's the same thing at gmail.com. But yeah, salute to you, brother. You've been here for a minute. Like I said, I always tell the story about
what happened. Here we go. What happened?
It was 06, man. Brother Rich commissioned me to do a piece of art, or a few pieces. He had a stand in Brooklyn with my former stomping ground, and I used to come down there and hang out with the brother and tell all of my all of my crimies, I'd be like, nah, this is family, y'all. He good. He was like, yo, I need you to do some artwork. And I was taking long or something. And bro was like, yeah, he kept me responsible for the things that we need to do for one another as brothers. When we said we're gonna do something, Brother Rich, I always had that voice and that image in the back of my mind to be responsible in friendship and brotherhood. And then we end up creating a masterpiece, a legendary masterpiece that became one of the
viral
first pieces of viral content. And that was the picture where it shows Osset, and it shows the two versions of Virgin Mary, you know, the melanated version and the lighter version, if you will, like a Nick Cannon flyer.
I'm gonna show people right now. Hold up, because it's on the internet. It's super viral.
It is, yes. It's all over.
In 2006,
during this time of year, that's when they start popping up.
In 2006, let me show y'all what Blue created that is now absolutely all. He created this for me. And I was in New York. I was in New York in the street with this. Yeah. I was showing people this in the street, like, yo, this is that, boo, boo, boo. Blue created this for me in 2006. If anybody sees this, Blue put this together in 2006, and it's all over. I mean, millions upon millions of people have seen this, man.
Yes, that's a fact. Yeah.
That was fire, man. Well, you remember what went in, the mindset that went in when you made this, Blue?
Yeah, you told me exactly what you were dealing with downtown in terms of the sort of client that you had and what they was always throwing back at you. And I'm from Brooklyn, so I already know the background of some of those customers and clients. So I was like, all right, I know exactly what I got to deal with. You know what I mean? Because I know what's hanging up in their homes, because I've been in their homes. If they're from the Caribbean, they got white Jesus in there, and they're not trying to hear nothing that you got to say based on that indoctrination. So we got to cut through that. And this is a talking piece. So what can stop people in their traffic? You know what I'm saying? That's where.
You know what's interesting, Blue? Because we was taught from Ashwa Kwesi and some of the other older Afrocentric teachers about the plagiarization of Osiris and how they turned Osiris into Jesus. Now Rod Hayes is saying that Jesus came from Isis. That was Isis. That was the woman that they took Isis and turned Isis into a man, Jesus. And that's when he went into the Sibyls, him and Vicky Dillard. They go into the whole history of the Sibyls in the Vatican and all that. If we're just learning more and more, it gets deeper and deeper, man.
It is, you know, again, that's why Virgin Mary is revered in Latin America and other places on the planet more so than quote unquote Jesus is. It's the cult of Virgin Mary. Bar none. She is, you know, a preeminent force. And of course, she's the knockoff of Osset, you know, again, who is the dog star. She is the preeminent one to begin with. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. She's been the sun before. She's been Saturn, right? So why not be quote unquote the morning star? Because again, the morning star is Venus. So Venus is Ishtar. Ishtar's Osset. So why not, right? But you know, she needs her just due, and I think that's what we're looking at. The reckoning. Again, I don't separate anything. What we're seeing in hip hop is, again, are you the children of the sun or not? Are you the chosen ones or not? Are you the golden ones or not? You know what I'm saying? Who are you people who keep telling me that this ain't got nothing to do with you? Then what got something to do with you? Because our babies is out here dying, you know what I'm saying? And the little girls is putting on congolitis lipstick. So what are we talking about, fam?
Right.
This got everything to do with you in your slumber. Wake up and, you know, make claims on who you are and be that. It just can't be a name alone. We need to see some action, boss. So regardless of, the sun is active, it's woke, it's kicking, the eyes are open, you see a gaping hole in it. But there's things that's happening on this planet that's giving that eye a black eye. It's literally a black eye.
Mhm.
You feel me? We're not gonna be able to duck this and sit this one out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is calling to see where our heart is at. And every time coming into the ending of the year, we seem to catch this reckoning where the universe is challenging us to see what our relationship with our woman is. And it's like a litmus test. You know what I mean? And the universe is watching and listening to say, oh, nah, that's just that bitch deserve it. What that little bitch would do. You should hear the commentary that's going. They're giving you archetypes. They're giving you situations. Just be an observer. You don't always got to have an opinion. Yeah, you wasn't there. But don't throw a person's claims out just because only thing that you see is dollar signs. These people are crying out right now. And the woman wants to be heard. She's like, yo, I had to endure the abuse of this industry for 30 plus years. While y'all were being misguided by misguided people who have issues with their own personal beings.
Crazy.
Right? What and then hold on, because Valentine was the one that told us. He's like, yo, these dudes is extra metrosexual and emasculated, right?
Yeah,
Who
he
would
did.
want to go out scuffed Tim's? Timberland boots, right? This is when he pulled the skirt and showed us this shit was getting too sweet. Yo, you can't even scuff construction Tim boots. Nah, I'm pulling the plug on this. Yeah, we got duped into that. Right? And
no,
when a culture emphasizes that you be more woman than the woman, you know what I'm saying? Then the woman loses respect for the man because he's no longer being a man. He's too concerned with wanting to be a woman. And let me qualify what I mean by that. Right. And I seen a video, a young lady dropped it on Instagram the other day, and people were resistant because of how her energy came across. But what she was saying is that the acquisition of material things is feminine within itself, but men do that as a magnet piece towards what? Pulling in feminine energy. So women are going to be attracted to materialism. So if you got the more shiny things, then the whole concept in that is that you're going to bring in more women, and the more women that you have suggests that you have more funkadinity, and that makes you more attractive to more women because women is attracted somehow to more women. Thus suggesting that you have more of an ability to provide and you have more sexual prowess and energy and ability, and this is all primal at the end of the day. This is all dealing with mating. And that animal, that that reptilian part of our mind, well, we only know, you know what I'm saying, what we know. And we looking to put all of this masculine energy somewhere so it can, you know what I'm saying, multiply itself. That's primal. And that's what we dealing with. It's a dance, it's a cosmic dance between positive and negative, but not the connotation of how we think good or bad. No, energy, electromagnetism.
Yes. Indeed. Blue, let me ask you this one right here. Somebody wants to know, do you know any sun meditations, visualizations other than sun gazing?
Yes. You can deal with internal, visualizations, deal with visualizing your solar plexus. So capture image of the sun and then take that particular image, close your eyes and visually meditate on the sun in your center, which is your solar plexus. And as you coincide with your breathing is you fanning, like how if you fan flames like this, right? They got that thing, you fan the flame and the flame shoots up. You're fanning, you're utilizing your diaphragm as that fanning flame. So it's a furnace. The sun is you're looking at the sun as something that you might be sitting inside of, a chimney or a furnace, and you're fanning the oxygens and it's creating the flame and it's magnifying that sun. So you can take the idea or the visualization of a sun and sit in your meditation and raise that internal sun inside of you. Men, yes, that solar plexus ties to will and ambition. And during this time of year, that's why it gets the lowest, because we lose our lion's mane. What happens when the sun passes Leo and it's no longer vainglorious, right? It starts its descent. And when it starts its descent, those lion manes or those rays start decreasing. we're seeing something separate now because of how the sun is activating. The lion manes are coming back to it, but that speaks about what happens when we move into the winter and we become a little bit less productive, right? We have a little less vigor. We don't have access to as much testosterone. The vitamin D is lower, right? And, you know, some people, they are less courageous or less willing to take risks because that solar plexus is not masterly activated. Suicide is at its highest level during these times. Depression kicks in, right? We're moving into inclemental weather. You know, it's colder. You know what I'm saying? People start retreating. So, yes, practice these visualization techniques to keep that active sun inside of you going strong.
Powerful advice, my brother. Let's do I'm gonna do one more question before we get out of here. I want to thank everybody. We got about 2,200 people in the chat. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to all of y'all for getting this information. Give me let me see. We got a super chat question. Peace. Blue is very on point. Ask them to please look into what 2024 will be on the original Julian calendar as well as this year on Islamic calendar.
Well, yeah, I already know with the Islamic calendar, I think that we are in year 1440. Yeah, it's either 1440 or 1441 in the Islamic calendar. That much I do know. But yeah, the brother wants me to look up the Julian calendar date for next year.
Yeah, please look into what.
I'm gonna check it out, man. Yeah, I'm gonna look it out. Okay. I'm not gonna do it right now, y'all.
Right.
Thank you for that, and I'm gonna follow through with it. I'll put a post up, and I'll make the comparisons. Like I said, I know that the Islamic calendar we're in 1440 or 1441. Next year we're going to be moving into a 44 year, so there's going to be a lot of heavy 44 activity, you know, going into our new year. Yeah. Salute to all of the brothers that are staying with the numbers out there. You feel me? Even Gematria, mainstream. I'm seeing it on the blogs and then.
Yeah, I'm seeing it everywhere. Definitely. Let's get this last question before we one more before we get out of here. But I'm definitely enjoying myself tonight, y'all. Thanks for being here with us. Delaware wants to know: is the inner sun the real source with layers beneath us, preventing us from harnessing its power, and the visible sun merely a reflection?
Thank you for that. And I did want to make mention of again, you know, the inner sun comparison is twofold and possibly threefold, because we have an eternal sun in our solar plexus. There's an inner sun inside of this planet. And I don't know if that's inconclusive, meaning that if the planet is an accretion disk and is flat, does it still have a core and a I'm gonna leave that. I'll leave that one alone. But we have a relationship to the sun when it comes to reflecting and refracting, right? So we are benefiting from the reflecting of the sun, but we don't see ourselves as the one responsible for refracting to the sun as well. And only people who have participated in experiments where they have done things to the sun, made the sun fluctuate and blink and just do wild, amazing things, of which I have made observations of people that have done it, and I've done some things myself. Only then do you realize, like, wow, there's something connected within me that affects the sun, you know. And I would pretty much tell people, research a part of your cellular structure called the muon. That's MUON. It's a subatomical particle, right? Get into researching the muon and research the neutrinos, right? And those are two things that you have in your body that's also present on the sun. And ironically, when science speaks about them, they speak about them separate. If they're not the same particle and they're tethered to one another, almost quantum entangled. So when things happen to you instantaneously, you have an effect on the sun. I don't prescribe to, oh, it takes 8 minutes for the light to reach here necessarily. You have a quantum tunnel that you are being impacted and affecting the sun in real time at all times.
Mm.
And point,
Yeah.
right? Because people be locked up underneath the earth. They got them at 80x max right now. Why don't people come out looking albino? They're still being impacted by the suns. Neutrinos are emitted. There's trillions of neutrinos that pass through your body every single second, and they come directly through the sun, and nothing can stop their movement. There's like, it's not like you can put lead up and it'll block it. Nothing blocks neutrinos. Neutrinos pass through everything, right? So even if you're not physically present in front of sunlight, you are still receiving solar energy by way of neutrinos, and you are entangled to the sun by way of your muons.
Whew. Shit. Thanks for bringing that out of blue with that question, man. Shit.
Yes.
Yeah, glad you went into that. And the show, Blue, to wrap it up, man. Once again, bro, you did your thing. Any info you want to tell the people, anything you got coming up? I know you got products.
This Monday coming up, we're gonna be at Melanin Monday in real life. All right, we'll be putting, you got the poster for that with you?
Oh shit, no, I forgot.
Rich,
I'm gonna post it right after the show. I'm gonna post it on.
We're gonna post it. I'm gonna throw it on the internet as well. We're gonna be honoring our good brother, Father Rich. You know, I think King Simon as well is coming through. We're gonna be laying out 2024 predictions, right? We're also gonna be operating and preparing y'all for the release of Holy Ghost 3, which I know is gonna shift the paradigm, and we're gonna be able to, you know, put our selection in before the end of the. Hold on, don't close that window yet. For the selections, yeah, we want to submit one last record. They like, oh, okay, let's listen. Oh shit, you're gonna get a late Grammy nod. You know what I'm saying? Yo, bro, when you finish this, go and watch Thriller 40. Right?
Thriller 40.
It's a documentary about the 40-year anniversary.
Okay.
If you need some inspiration, if you need some insight, if you need to be reminded from Virgo what Virgos do, right? Make sure you watch that documentary so you can be in the right mind frame for this impending upcoming release. Because I need you to be a little bit more excited, bro.
Oh man,
right?
I got you.
That's a major. From everything that I've heard on that project, fam.
Here we go.
Don't take it like
yo, Blue. You know what's interesting? You know what I did a lot of during the second half of the project. I did it in terms of meditation. I did a lot of meditating and talking when, you know, Venus, you can see Venus is visible in the sky in the morning. I think it started coming out around September, and I take my son to school in the morning, and it'd be out there. You can see it at like 6 in the morning, and I would just be out there for a good 5 to 10 minutes, just talking to Venus. You know what I'm saying? Communicating with that star, knowing what I know about Venus and music and all of that. So that Venus played a part in the creation of Holy Ghost 2, the second half of Holy Ghost 3, y'all. So shout out to the Venus star, the energy of the Venus star.
Shout out to the morning star for
the morning star.
And showing the guidance that's needed and necessary. You know what I mean? And I know that we're gonna be able to hear, you know, the inflections in that in the music. So GoWater.com, GOLDEWATER.com. Shout out to the Go Water family. We got big things we're announcing in the new year. Brother Rez, shout out to Brother Rez. Shout out to KT, the Arts Degree. Shout out to Mama Pill. Shout out to the whole family.
Quick announcement, Blue. Me and KT and family, me and KT at 10 in the morning, probably not 10. I'm gonna meet KT at 10 in the morning. We're gonna go to Whole Foods and we're gonna do a little shopping at Whole Foods, and we're gonna go through certain food you should pick up, you shouldn't pick up at this time, certain things you should be aware of. We're gonna be talking about ingredients, but we're gonna be in a supermarket at Whole Foods in Georgia at early in the morning around 10:30. I'll probably go live. Me and KT, if y'all able to tune in 10:30 Eastern time, we will be live, me and KT, and we're gonna be because he's about to do another cooking show on my Patreon next week. So we're gonna be in the supermarket tomorrow. It's gonna be dope, y'all. Tune in early in the morning.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy. And me and Red, we got a project coming as well called The Pillars Got Something to Say, and it's an explosive project, explosive, hands down.
Right.
You know, so we're just gonna continue the narrative of knowing that, you know, good music still does exist, amazing music. You know what I'm saying? Is all around you, family. You just gotta open your eyes, or open your ears, or open your heart. You know what I'm saying, and let us impart. You know, and download. You know what I'm saying? These upgrades into your consciousness. You feel me?
Indeed.
Yes,
All right. And on that note, I guess we out of here, right, Blue? We good?
We are gone. Peace to the family. Peace, love, and light. I appreciate you in the light.
Peace, family. See you next time. See you.